when that actually happened to you, right? When that moment you knew that that money was stolen, what was that feeling? Like, what did you feel right after that happened?
Because if you really think about it, my mind has made me multiple millions. It's made me franchise a business all from a thought that I had when I was literally on a walk with my mother.
What's going on, guys? Bishop here. So welcome to another edition of Convos with Bishop. And I am here with someone who is very, very special within the grant space. This is actually my first time actually having someone of this expertise to talk about business grants, how to actually know about the process and everything. So not only you guys gonna get some game, but I'm also gonna get some game as well too. Miss Stormi Banks is in the building.
What's up? What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you again. So listen, I like to ask people from a scale to 1 to 10, and you cannot use 7.
Okay.
How are you feeling right now?
A 9.
A 9. Okay, not 10.
I'm a 9.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. So with you, I did a little research on you, right? And there's a couple words that definitely come up.
Okay.
There is triumph, there's resiliency, there's trials and tribulations, and also Phoenix. Because I really feel like the couple things that happened to you as far as like getting robbed by your best friend.
Yeah, 10
right?
years.
That 10 years. All the other things you have, but like you're in a space right now where you rose like a phoenix, and you're definitely the woman in business that you are right now. So before we actually get into the whole grant thing and also like your challenge and the summit, I really wanted to get just a little bit of background on your story because you're originally from New York, and like the floor is yours.
Yeah, that's probably the pivotal moment that created everything that people see today, is getting robbed of the seed money for my business that I wanted to start during COVID. I was a hairstylist in New York since I was 16, right? I went to school, I did all the things, and I thought that was my career path. That's what my identity was. When COVID hit, New York shut down, and I wasn't making any money. So I moved down to Tennessee, which is where my mom lives, and my best friend had a salon down there at the time. And I was like, I'm going to go down here, keep my money making going on. And then, as I started saving up, I went to Atlanta because Atlanta was open. I mean, they was vibing during COVID.
No, facts.
They
was
vibing.
outside. Miami was too, but not like Atlanta.
Atlanta was a different place.
Crazy. Yeah, another world.
It was. So I went down there with the intentions to open a salon, and as I'm telling her all my plans and like, I'm going to move down there, look at the space, like this is going to be amazing. I came back to the apartment that we had together, and, the money was gone, right? And so I tell that story so quickly now because I'm so far past it, and it's like so minuscule compared to where I'm at in this place in my life. But that moment was literally what changed the trajectory of who I was going to become. And I tell people to this day that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
So question, when that actually happened to you, right? When that moment you knew that that money was stolen, what was that feeling? Like, what did you feel right after that happened?
Well, you want to fight.
You want to throw some hands.
Yeah, you ready to knock if you bug, sure.
Yeah.
And I remember calling my mother, and I was like, Mom, I'm about to go to jail. Like, I was like, Mom, I'm going to jail.
It's about to be on site.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And she was like, I'm on the way. I'm on the way. My mother came, and she was like, what's $50,000 to $1 millionaire? Because, like, before all of that had happened, the crazy thing was I had already been in preparation to make my first $1 million. Like, I had already been so locked in mentally. I had already been, like, running every morning at 6 a.m. I was, like, eating healthy. I had all these great habits. I was writing, journaling, reading. Like, I was already mentally in the space. So when that happened, of course it made you angry because it was a betrayal of someone you loved, but my mindset was already so far past taking any action on anything that would set me back. And so having my mom there to be like, nah, let's stay focused. I just was like, I'm going to decide right now to be who I said I was in this moment.
So with that mindset to actually, make that decision to, I think Shabazz OG always says it's either 3 seconds or 30 years. That 3 seconds that you actually make a decision whether or not it's going to be good or bad is going to determine what your future is. So I actually had a situation like that before where I actually got cheated on by my almost ex-fiance by her ex husband, and I saw it actually in the act. So like when that shit happened, yeah, it's kind of crazy. We'll talk about that afterwards after this pod. But I bring this up because when I saw it, I already had the mindset of like, you know what, like I'm already seeing like the patterns of what this is. I'm either going to make a decision, either where I'm going to crash out and be in jail for literally for the rest of my life, or I'm going to literally make the decision to, you know, be a better man and just learn from those mistakes and just move on from it. So I asked you said, you talk about mindset, right? Mindset is everything. Where do you actually get that mindset from? Like, you know, is it from your past? Is it from your mother? You know, like talk to me a little bit about that.
I genuinely think it's an accumulation of a lot of different things that have helped me create the mindset that I have today. But I think overall, it's just my subconscious mind and the things that I decide to believe in, right? Mm-hmm. Like no one can create any thoughts in my head outside of what I decide to believe. Mm-hmm. So for me, my mindset, like to this day right now, is highly controlled. I'm very conscious of what I listen to, what I eat, who I'm around, what I listen, like music I'm into.
You're a very intentional person.
You have to be.
I hope that you're enjoying this episode and you want to learn more about how you can get grant opportunities for your business. I'm going to be hosting a 5-day Get Grant Ready seminar teaching you everything you need to know how to find, write, and apply to grants and how to manage grant applications. If you want to learn this information, I'm hosting for only $5, where you can get in and learn everything that you need to know to get the funding that your business deserves. Click the link in the description box and sign up. I'll see you in class.
Because if you really think about it, my mind has made me multiple millions. It's made me franchise a business all from a thought that I had when I was literally on a walk with my mother. Like, I was like, what about pink print? She was like, do it. You know what I'm saying? So my mind is so powerful. It has shifted my whole life, my whole future, the future of my whole generations. To not protect it as a true asset is a danger. So for me, I'm very, very protective over the things that I think and the things that I say to myself and the things I let around me in my atmosphere. So I think that is just, you know, how I'm creating and cultivating my mindset on a daily basis.
Well, why do you think that you are so different when it comes to your mindset versus everybody else? Because that's like the 1% mentality. Like, how can other people get to your level of mentality to be as successful, you know what I'm saying, as you? Because not everybody has that mindset, but like you actually have like certain practices and certain like methods for you to get to that level. So like, what would you tell somebody else to be able to get to that?
To be honest with you, there's a verse in the Bible that talks about staying connected to the vine, and letting the vine be your source. And if you're a fruit on the vine and you fall off the vine, you shrivel up and you lose your essence, essentially. So for me, my source is genuinely being connected to God. And I know sometimes that sounds super cliche, but that literally is what helps me understand life, like biblical principles, because just being positive on a day-to-day basis. Like, for instance, I just flew out to Miami this morning. My bag is on a whole nother flight. I don't have no makeup. These wasn't the clothes I was supposed to. I had a whole situation situated. But what do I decide to do right now in this moment? Like, every single opportunity is a choice. Every single choice is an opportunity to decide who you're going to be. And the more you can prove to yourself who you are, the more confidence you build within yourself. So it's not like, I just have this mindset. It's, I trust myself. I trust myself to make good decisions. I trust myself to choose good relationships. I trust myself to be great financially because I've just consistently done the things.
Oh, amen. Yeah, definitely. Stay right there real quick because, a lot of other people that would have lost their bags, they would have oh man, you know what? Fuck it. I have a bad day. Like, I can't just, move on, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you is you're still having that great energy. It's when you came in, it's as if nothing happened. So I definitely want to, commend you on that because that definitely takes a lot of work to do. You know what I'm saying?
I was we going to get this on camera. This going to be good for the vlog.
We should,
we're going to go back to the airport.
And we had the videographer cancel too and everything else. It was
exactly.
Dog, what's going on here?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You never know and you're not in control. So it's just vibe it out and make the best out of it. And then you never know the blessing that's coming out of it, right? Like, for instance, I had this thing the other day, literally just the other day, where my car wouldn't turn on for whatever reason. I ended up getting an Uber to the gym. I was trying to make it to the gym. I went to the gym in an Uber, and there was a whole accident, like a compound accident right outside of where my, home is.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, that was safety for me, because if I would have left the 15 minutes ahead of time, I probably would have been in the compound. So you just never know the blessing and the protection that's happening through every single opportunity.
Yeah, no, definitely. So before we get into the whole, like, from you going from a hairstylist, right, up into actually creating a mega grant empire, one of the things that I had to really, really, understand about you, but I also really respect is that, like, your intention when it comes to just like valuing your time. One thing you actually posted is that if somebody in the email said, oh, when I thought I wanted to die, I was like, damn, girl, really? Like, I kind of did that. We're still talking. We're still here.
Yeah.
But you were like, oh, nah, listen, if you talk about how, like, you need, like, a quick 6 minutes to talk, like, I'm not even answering, you know what I'm saying, like, the email. And I found that very funny because when we were talking, right, it was such a quick exchange. And I'm not used to that. Like, for me, I come from hospitality. I'm all about white gloving. As you can kind of see, like, I'm all about, like, hospitality and just taking care of people. You was like, all right, listen, you got an interview. Are you ready? Okay, cool. Hey, listen, send me the email for the package. Okay, I'm great. Let's do the invoice. Boom, let's run it. We didn't even talk at all. And that's, like, nerve-wracking because I'm like, I kind of want to gauge your vibe, you know what I'm saying, for the podcast and everything else, too. Like, how do you get to have people not waste your time? Like, how did you get to that level? Because that's a lot of discernment. That's a lot of, like, practice as well, too. And just understanding how to not waste time at all. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to ask? Because like, that rattled my brain. I was like, why is this so easy? Like, you made it so easy, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't know if you're giving me too much credit because I think it's really just because I'm super, like, kind of lazy for real.
Okay,
like, I have like my seasons where I'm like, okay, I want to output a lot and then I want to lay down for months. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I just want to, like, output what I got to, like, do what I got to do, and then I'm chilling.
Okay.
And so for me, in that moment where I have to produce, I just want to get the most out of it. Like, because I know after this, I'm going back into my hibernation. So I just need to get the most out of it. So now I'm like, I already know what I'm coming for. I already know what I'm doing. My mind is made up. I don't need a lot of convincing. I don't need a lot of chit chat. Let's keep this thing moving. Right. So
you already did the vetting on me. So
yeah,
it's like, let's run it.
I mapped this out months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is already something that I already knew I was going to do in order to do what I need to get done. So for me, it's just like, preparation, like planning, and that just makes it easier to make decisions. But on a day-to-day basis, when people email me and they're like, hey, if we could just have a quick chat, I'm like, anything you can
instant turn off.
Instant. I'm telling you, I close that email so fast.
I hear you.
Because I'm like, if you can chat, you can type. And me, I'm a writer. So I like, you know what I mean? I want to just read it, respond, and keep it moving. And we just do it like that. Because also, when I'm moving through my day-to-day process, again, my mind is what makes me money. And the more interruptions that I have in my mind, the less money I'm making. So if you need a quick chat, you're now taking away 10 minutes from me being able to think. And that may have been the 10 minutes that I thought of a master plan. So I don't want to give you my time like that. Just voice note me, text me, send me a note so that when I'm out of my thinking time, I can now give you that energy that you may be asking me for.
Because even though it's actually a stance where that person wants to talk about maybe business or maybe getting a grant for you, that's still taken away from your time where you can actually focus on other things where they can be more efficient by just sending a voice note and a text, and you can literally multitask.
Because I'm trying to think for a mass amount of people.
Got it.
When I think of becoming $1 billion business, you have to be able to solve a problem for a mass amount of people, right? So if I'm constantly worrying about every single individual, it's going to be hard for me to scale a business. So when you're asking me for a 6-minute call or a 10-minute call, you want my individual attention. I no longer can think on a large scale.
Wow.
That's how that works for me.
Okay. Now you messing up my brain right now in a good way. Because I'm like, okay, cool. And also, too, one of the things I kind of want to talk about before we get into your business is that I think it's very, very important for especially women in business to really pick their pockets in, like, working and also, like, conserving their energy as well, too. Because masculine energy is a lot different than feminine energy. Like, for us, we can literally go all day, just, go crazy. But for y'all, it's a little bit different where, like, y'all need to, like, literally pick your pockets. Is that the reason why you do what you do?
Absolutely.
Boom, okay.
I'm very in tune with my body. And, women are on a 30-day cycle. And I know, like, during my luteal phase, I already know what's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? And I can feel it in my whole shift. And I want to, if I'm going to be in that mode to produce, I want to be at my height, right? I want to be at my best. So I can't do that all the time because that's literally not how my body is working. I have to relax. I have to be at peace. I have to take a bath. I have to be with my goats. I got to cook. You like I just have to do
You really
other
got some
things.
goats?
I have 5
You have
goats.
5
I
goats?
have 5 goats.
You got some horses?
Who?
You got some horses as
I'm
well?
looking at those. Yeah, I was trying to find a stable. I'm looking in Georgia for a stable.
Okay. I may be able to help you with that, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I got some clients over there that got land and
Yes.
no, seriously.
No,
yeah,
I would
yeah,
love
I'll connect
that.
you with them. Yeah, definitely.
I would love that.
Okay, so that traumatic experience that you have as far as, having like your best friend literally steal from you $50,000 plus, that got you into the inception, I should say, when it comes to the pink print, right? So where did that idea come from as far as the name, the idea? Like, walk me through that.
Yep. I remember it so vividly, too. I was at my mom's house in the room that she's carved out for me, and I was writing down in my notebook, basically journaling just how I felt when I got robbed. And when I was journaling how I felt when I got robbed, all the emotions that came to me, I made the decision. I said, I don't want anyone else to feel like this. I don't want anyone else to feel like their dream can't be funded or the seed money isn't there to, run the business or create the business or the idea. I never want anyone else to feel like that. And in my previous business, I had already won some grants, right? So I already had the skill set, but I just hadn't really thought about it on a larger scale.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how can I help other people not be in this pocket? And so I ended up getting online and figuring out ways. I'm like, okay, a lot of people don't have good credit. A lot of people don't have, I just was doing my research and I found, grants, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the one. And me and my mother went on a walk that night, and I was like, what do you think about pink print for the name? And she was like, I love it. I was like, the blueprint for women in business. And she was like, yeah, that's it. And so then I just ran it, right? I just literally ran it. And it started off so organic. I was just online teaching, like just getting on live, IG live, just telling people like, hey, y'all, there's this funding out here that you don't have to have credit score for. You could write, this application and you can apply to it. You could win. And I've done it with multiple different, with my business, and I've won multiple times. And they were just like gravitating towards it because like during that time, everybody was talking about credit, right? Everybody was like, credit, build your business credit, this, that, and the third. And so me coming with something fresh, new, it just took off.
Yeah. So what made you actually go to the grant lane versus the business? Because I feel like everybody does business funding. Everybody in their mama does. I'm like, dog. Like, I've literally interviewed tons of people within that space, but then you went a different route. Like, what was the reason for that? What stood out with grants versus business funding that you like, I got to like do this?
So after we started teaching and people were having the need for it, we created our community. And in our community, we were doing all the things. We were doing credit. We were talking about business credit. We were talking about grants. We were talking about all funding, all encompassing. But what happened was I had a few students who went and got some business funding, large sums of money through like their personal credit guarantee, and then their business didn't make money. And so now that credit was just debt, right? It was just became debt in their business. Their business wasn't making the money that they needed to. So then they had to start paying that money back through their personal finances.
Okay.
And I said, this isn't what I wrote down. This wasn't my initial vision. I wanted freedom. I wanted relaxation. I wanted peace. I wanted sustainability. So I said, I'm not doing this. I'm not teaching credit. I'm not teaching business credit. And matter of fact, debt is the enemy now for me. And that's what I started to just go hard with. And I just started the whole campaign of just like debt-free, sustainable businesses.
Some people say that debt is actually an ally, though.
Some people do. Some people do.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So one of the things I've actually searched up is that you cannot stand when people say, that, oh, I'm gonna get it back. Like, I used to say that too, but when I saw that with Cyrus Xavier, by the way, I was like, yo, nah, like, you're right, because I've always been that type of dude, that type of business person, like, okay, if I lose or if I spend this or whatever, I can definitely get it back. And now when you really unlocked like a level in my brain, I was like, no. Like, if I lose that money is gone forever. You can't get it back. The money that you get back is not the money that you lost.
Nope.
So why do people actually have that mentality?
Childhood trauma.
Okay.
Avoidant behaviors. And they don't want to really look at it. Certain type of people that go on vacation, don't have a budget, spend whatever they want to spend, and then be scared to look at their account the next day. Or they have a weekend, Beyonce came to town and they done did too much. And now they struggling to figure out which bills they're going to pay, or they got to take this from that, rob Peter to pay Paul. It's avoiding traumas, and you're avoiding taking responsibility over your finances. And so you think that I'll just make it back, you know, it keeps you in a cycle of the hamster wheel. It's keeping you in that cycle because you do not want to simply deal with the root cause. And the root cause is that you've never had to take responsibility for things in your life. You've never had to be accountable to anything in your life. Maybe your parents weren't really around, maybe, you know, your friends and family, whatever the case may be, but if you're constantly in that avoidant state of mind, you're never going to take responsibility over your finances. So, yeah, you think I could just make it back. No, you're never going to make it back. It's gone. You wasted it.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, absolutely. So when it comes to the process, because this is something that I'm completely ignorant in the grant space. If I'm a person that wants to get a grant, other than getting you know what I'm saying, to get the job done, what is the process looking like?
Absolutely. So grants are similar to like a job application process, right? This is the easiest way to correlate it to people who are unfamiliar. Literally, you get on an online database, like, you know how they have, what's the one called? Job for Jobs?
Job seeker or okay.
One of those.
Okay.
So you get on an online online database.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's the one I was really thinking of.
I'm just making up shit. Sorry.
Correct. So you get on an online database that has specific to grant opportunities.
Okay.
And from there, you find one that meets your qualifications, your business mission, and what you are able to, you know, provide, and the money that you're looking for. And then from there, you submit essentially your resume. It's called a grant proposal. Once you submit your grant proposal, then they have typically a 30 to 45 day open cycle before they close the grant to actually review the grants.
Okay.
And then they take about a couple weeks to be able to review all the applicants.
Okay.
And then they let each applicant know who's the recipient, right?
Got it.
That's literally how the process goes. Once you're chosen as a recipient, you're getting the funds wired to your bank account, or they're sending a check to whatever business address you have on file.
Okay.
That's the process.
Okay. So what are certain things that people do within the process that totally mess up their way of actually getting approved?
Well,
let's get into it. Let's do it. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. So starting from the top, number one, you're not looking on grant databases. So you're having a hard time finding grants because you're only using Google, and Google is literally just a bunch of ads and people trying to attack you because you're saying that you need money. So using grant databases is a pivotal part of finding qualified grants and not getting scammed. A lot of people are paying to apply for grants. Grants are free to apply to. So using a grant database will help you so much. Number two, when they do use the grant database, they don't understand how to know if the grant is right for them.
Okay.
They're just looking at how much money the grant is giving out instead of what the grant is actually seeking. They're seeking a particular type of business, whether that's your race, whether that's your gender, whether that's your revenue, whether that's your history, whether that's who you serve. They are looking for a specific person, and the more you can manipulate your business's messaging to become that specific person, you'll be the obvious choice and basically create a guarantee application for yourself. So
all grants are not created equal.
No. It's so vast. So vast.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're targeting people based on what they want to get done in the world, based on their individual mission, right? So number three, because I could go for days.
Let's do it. We're here.
Number three that people do wrong is that they don't reach out to the funder before they apply. So each funder has what's called a rubric on the back end. This is how they grade the applicant based on, okay, does your mission align with us? Is your budget on point? Do you have enough history? Right? They're looking at these different qualifications to see if they want you to be a part of their grant opportunity. And if you don't know the rubric, you're applying blind. So you may just say the one wrong thing that they're like, oh, this applicant is better than you simply because this is more so aligned with what we're looking for.
I see.
So if you reach out prior to and get the rubric and understand, and that's when you ask for the 6-minute chat, right? You're like, can I bother you for a 6-minute chat? Because you can get to know who they're looking for, or at least get their rubric. Number 4 that people do wrong is when they're applying using AI. So
I want to get into that
we got to get into it.
Let's
because
do it.
Senate is literally tossing around banning AI when it comes to getting funding. It was passed and then it got unpassed, and they're going back and forth with it by putting it in that beautiful bill because AI is unregulated. And when it comes to funding, a lot of funding, you have to actually report back what you spent the money on.
Got
and
it.
so a lot of people are using AI and it's ghosting up all of this different type of content. That's A, plagiarism, and B, they don't know exactly what they're committing to when they're submitting these applications. So they're saying we can do this and they can't. They don't have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
So funders are like, these funds are precious. We can't just be having no AI generated context. We need real business owners. So that's a really big thing that is like really in limbo right now in the grant world.
So do you think that with, and I'm not really trying to get into politics, but at the end of the day, you know, things is happening with this new regime. There's a lot of restrictions is happening. A lot of like funds are being taken away and all that. Is the new regime right now with Trump, is that putting more of a strain on grants than before or not?
He has definitely decreased some budgets,
Okay.
but the thing is, the budgets that he decreased were going to like colleges,
Got it,
and
got it.
Medicaid.
Got it.
It wasn't really trickling down to the small business sectors.
Okay. Because everybody's going crazy. Like,
Yeah,
oh, Trump's, getting away with us and this and that and taking our money, this and that. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that's why I want to ask you because you're the professional.
You have to really look at what funds did he
Got it.
actually pause,
Got
or
it.
that wasn't like the business funding grants. Yeah.
I got you. So yeah, because I think with AI is so amazing, but there's a point where it actually makes us a little bit too lazy to actually us to do our due diligence and also our research. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we went through that, and any other misconceptions or any other mistakes that we make?
Yeah, I mean, I think people believe that grants are only for nonprofits, and that's farthest from the truth.
That's what I thought. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
money ain't for me, so it is what it is.
It's for-profit, nonprofit. I mean, this year, our for-profit business has done $400,000 in grants.
Congrats.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, and people think it's like this one-off like boost of income. No, use grants as a revenue strategy in your business, because if you consistently go for grants and you're stacking them, because there's not a limit on how many you can win in a period of time.
Okay.
You can literally boost your whole company's revenue. I've seen people go from making $50,000 a year to winning $100,000 in grants to now their business is worth $150,000. That's a different conversation, right? Even if you do want to go take that to the bank, it's on your tax return. Grants are taxable. So now you have more money that you've made in your business. Or we just franchised our company, right? We were able to raise our franchise fee because we have these systems that can help them get grant opportunities for their business. So now we have more money that we can show for.
Oh, you're spending game right now.
I'm just telling. That's what I'm saying. It becomes a revenue strategy in the business.
So with me, right? Let's just make it personal. So I have an LLC right now. Is there any type of business structure that I have to focus on to get more approval with grant? I've never applied for a grant in my life, but after this conversation, we're going to do some business. So like, is it more so of like, should I do an S corp? Should I do an LLC? Or like, what is like the pros and cons from getting approved with grants with those different type of business structures?
No, you're really more so just going to be looking at for-profit and nonprofit.
Okay,
That's kind of
got
how
it,
they're going
got
to
it.
categorize the
Okay.
grant opportunities.
Okay.
And I tell people to have both. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get to a point where you can manage having both, you open yourself up for way more grant opportunities. And there's some grants that are specific to nonprofit and some that are specific to for-profit. You can be getting both of them either way, because sometimes the mission still aligns with your business, but you just don't have the entity for it. So
I got you. So you said you were franchising like your business model to other places, right? So here's my thing, and I don't know, this may be a little bit too of a personal question, but how do you get paid from like running a grant company? Like, do you like get the grant and then you take your fee, or like you give it to them, or like is it more of a trust-based value type of like proposition?
yeah, so as a certified grant writer, it's unethical for you to take a percentage of the grant.
Got it.
So you actually can get a grant denied if you take a percentage, because typically they're charging like 10%.
Okay.
And that's frowned upon in the grant landscape. A lot of people still do it because, you get more. But we just charge a flat upfront fee in order for the work that we're doing, right? The hours of writing, the hours of research, the hours of procurement, budget, and everything else that we're doing. And we just have a flat upfront fee that you pay. And then from there, we do the scope of work for you and move forward in that manner.
Okay.
So that's how we get paid. But now, I mean, almost everybody you see on the internet talking about grants, we do their fulfillment. So when we started doing the fulfillment for a lot of people, we started realizing we could franchise this thing out. I'm like, we could literally just be the fulfillment and build Pink Print. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm not going to do a mentorship and teach people how to be grant writers. Come and buy my franchise. Come and buy my franchise. You don't have to learn to be a grant writer. You can give grant writing services from people who are already trained, people who are already certified, which is the team that we have.
Yeah. One of the things too, you kind of touched this already, but we can just dive in a little bit more. One of your reels that you had, you were talking about like the ethical standpoint when it comes to your business. You kind of did touch upon that already, but like what other things that can actually be unethical within the grant space that people are doing that you stay far away from that you would teach people to not do?
I think sometimes because people know that they don't know a lot about grants, grant writers know that grants is still like this oblivion thing, that they charge way too much. If you're a certified grant writer with certain results, you're probably charging $60 an hour for your writing and research. But sometimes grant writers will take it too far. Because you, as a grant writer, you're not the person who's guaranteeing that they're going to get funding, right? You're the person who's doing the work to write, to apply, to research, to find. You're becoming basically just like their liaison for doing the work part of it.
Yeah, so you're putting them in position, right?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
That way they can stay in their zone of genius and not make that a part of their job.
Yeah.
But you're not the one that's saying, yes, this is approved. So to charge overly is crazy, so that can become super unethical. The other thing that people will do in the grant world too is that they'll share clients' information.
Okay.
So sometimes you get clients who have these business ideas that aren't out yet, right? That aren't out in the world, that haven't really been produced fully, and they won't have trademarks, they won't have certain protections for their business, and you'll see all these things. And as you're going for grant opportunities, they'll be sharing them with, I got this business partner, we could do this, da-da-da-da. So it's a lot of things that can happen. So you really do have to find ethical grant writers, genuinely.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a whole other process, to begin with. With your business, right? So not only that you help business owners to get grants, but I kind of want to, get your insight on, so let's just say that I work with you and I get, $150,000 of a grant, right? What should I do with that money?
Create revenue streams inside of your business, period.
Okay.
So that could look like setting up a podcast, right? Podcasting can be a revenue stream. That could look like hosting an event. That could look like creating a curriculum and licensing it out. That could look like, digital products. That it depends on where you're at in your business and what avenues you want to take, but create something with the grant that makes money. That's what you want to do. You want to increase the money that your business is making and do it debt-free. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Don't pay bills. Don't get out of debt.
People go crazy with that. Yeah, they think that.
Oh, Lord.
Let's talk about that real quick, because people just be mishandling the money out of nowhere.
Do.
Like, I got this 150K. I can literally give it to my people. I can literally do this with that. I can give it to my boys. And then what happens is when you get audited, right? That money gets taken back. That's when you get into debt.
I've seen it.
You've seen it, right?
I've seen it. I had a client win a $2 million grant. They took back $1.5 million.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Because she was like, I'm going to just pay my mortgage off. You can't do outside of what we said we were doing. Now, granted, not all grants report. Like, not all grants make you report the money, especially like if they're corporate grants where it's just like a corporation trying to get some taxes off or something like
they
that.
Just give money. They don't even care what happens to it. Yeah, I got you.
But if you operate in the capacity that every grant it wants you to report and you always have good practices, you'll be able to level up the type of grants that you're getting, right? And what you want to do too is build those relationships with the funders. So if you're doing right by the money and you're reporting and you're sending them in at 6 months, hey, so-and-so corporation, even though you don't ask us to report, here's a report, here's what it did, here's the measurable outcomes. We would love to partner with you on this next event that we have coming up. So now you're looking at sponsorship. Now you're looking at fiscal sponsorship. Now you're looking at, hey, can you afford to give us $2,000 every single month instead of just one $10,000 grant, right?
Yeah.
Because if you had the budget to give me $10,000, you got the budget to give me $2,000 every single month. So you really do want to build relationships with funder, and that's another thing that people don't do right is that they use the money and they go ghost. No, I'm sorry, but if somebody show me they got deep pockets, me and you, we go together.
Yeah, no. We touch the hip after that. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned relationships, and I think relationships are it's very pivotal and very paramount to building businesses. I have a question. with you, what was the one relationship that you fostered and you created that changed your trajectory of Pink Print Firm?
The relationship with myself. The relationship with myself is the deepest, most vulnerable, most loving, most authentic relationship I've ever built, and has rewarded me the most time and time and time again. Like, genuinely being able to, like, go to my house and, like, do anything and enjoy my company, be honest with myself, be vulnerable with myself, and treat myself well. It allows me to show up for other people. It allows me to show up for my family and the people that I love, and everything that is within comes without, right? There's the verse in the Bible that's like, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So because my heart is so full and I have so much joy in my life because I've given myself that, I could produce that in the world.
Yeah, and then that kind of just beautifully segues into one of the reels that you actually had. You were talking about fulfillment, and what does fulfillment, mean to you?
Fulfillment.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit more of what you're looking for.
So
because fulfillment can mean anything. I'm like
within you
fulfilling grants.
Okay, gotta get this money. You know what I mean, I'm talking about you, Stormi Banks.
Okay.
Like, what does fulfillment, look to you as far as because I've always said this, right? When it comes to, let's do this. When it comes to like winning the day, right? You have to have a win mentally, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally. Maybe even financially as well too. But deeper than that, my fulfillment is to how I can actually show up for my people. How can I actually show up for my tribe? How can I show up for my loved ones, even for my business people, my business partners as well? So that's my question to you. Like, what does that look like?
I think, it will be similar. I'm definitely a family person. I grew up in community. I have 5 siblings. So definitely building community and allowing people space to just have freedom and peace is like a big part of who I am and what I want to accomplish every day in the world. But I think probably also fulfillment just looks like trusting myself and resting when I need to rest, and not feeling like I have to be busy in order to be productive, and just really honoring my body, my mind, my spirit in whatever seasons that I'm in. Because I've had some times where, oh my goodness, I've overworked. There is a such thing. I have overworked.
Yeah, burnout is real.
There's been seasons when I was first building my company, the obsession was unnatural. And it probably came too because I was still very angry with what the situation was. So I was like using that to
which is not a bad thing. Because,
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. Because I use my anger to turn my ex, to be able to push through as well. So I feel
I'm not mad at it, but I would not do it again. If someone told me, if you knew that that's what it took, would you do it again? I probably wouldn't sign up. I would not have signed up.
Yeah, that's real.
Mental, even just what it took for me to climb out of being that obsessed with working, and the therapy I had to go through of like understanding that this is not all life has to offer, getting out of, oh my goodness. I mean, I would be like so critical on everything, and it just wasn't a good life. I felt bound. I felt tied up. I didn't feel restful and peaceful and joyful.
That is so important and so crucial, because now I'm thinking about it now. That experience that traumatic experience that I've been through, right? It was the best experience that I would never ever go through again, because the cost that comes with it.
Come on now.
The cost that it comes with it, as far as just being fucking bitter and just angry at the world, and just like, and we're in this day and age now where social media, especially like when certain things happen to people, men, women, or just to say men, they go through like a crazy ass breakup or whatever, and they use that anger to actually use that to their purpose. But then what you're actually making me realize is that like there's a level of a consequence that we don't talk about that literally chips us from our lives.
So real. So
Holy
real.
shit. Okay.
No, that's so real. And sometimes I found myself grieving over losing that like angst of life, like that, like, I'm going to get it, like that dog.
Yeah.
But I'm like, at what cost does that really come with? Like, it's nice to be able to produce that in a season, but to only be that, you've lost a lot of the essence of what life is here to produce. And for me, it's not worth it.
Yeah. And how long ago was that? That what, 10 years ago?
No, when I had the dog in me?
When you had that situation with your best friend taking money.
Oh, that was August 2021.
Okay.
So it wasn't that long ago.
Okay. Even if it's not that long ago, we are different people every single year. We are
yeah.
different people every single day.
Oh, yeah.
So the energy that you had right then and there is a lot different to what you have right now.
Totally shifted.
You know? And we thank God for those suffering moments because we're able to really, really understand us and really learn from it. But you're just like literally giving me like a epiphany right now where like that moment right there just needs to stay at that moment and leave it alone. That dog came out and bit a whole bunch of people and went crazy and gnawed and all that stuff. That dog is back in the shelf, is in the home. He don't need to come out anymore because he served his purpose.
Correct.
You know, because man, there's I know we're kind of going off a little bit, but it's all good.
No, this is good.
There's a lot of bitter ass entrepreneurs out here.
Bitter
Mad
business
as fuck.
owners. Mad.
Like angry. Like, I'm talking about angry at the Lord, angry at
Envious,
people,
hating.
envious, hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm thinking as a man, like, you know, yeah, that's cool, that's great, but like, if there's one thing that will just eat at your life is literally pain and also the suffering that will actually carry on, if that makes sense. Because you got to let that go. You know what I'm saying?
But like I said, when you let that go, you're letting go of that dog. You're putting that dog, it's going to look totally different. That's what I'm telling you. I was grieving. When I started healing and I lost that dog in me, I was like, I got to get that back. I'm not producing as much. Like, my business is going to fail. Like, I was scared to let that go because it's literally what created this thing.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out, Storm, who do you need to be to get to a next level? How do you have a peaceful business and a prosperous business? Like, how do we bring those two together? Because I didn't have that identity. In my mind, it was like pain breeds prosperity. I didn't think I could lay in the bed and rest and still make the money. That wasn't real for me. So I was trying to keep on holding on to that pain as long as possible. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you ever been to the studio? You know, when you get to the studio, you try to think of all the stuff that done happened to you in your life. So you can go in there and spit some hot fire bars. You be like, I was 9 years old. Daddy on drugs.
Sweet 16, don't make it sour. You know what I'm
saying? You really want to go in there and DMX. But it's not sustainable.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what is sustainable, which is actually pouring into yourself and also pouring into your higher power, which is God. Yeah. I've realized that too. And this, oh my God, this is so powerful. Like, I really appreciate you having this conversation with me, by the way. Let me just put that out there. Having that dog in you and getting through those trials and tribulations and literally rising up like a phoenix. But then when you're up in the air, who takes you up higher? It ain't that dog no more. It ain't that you know, that suffering anymore because that was that place for that. Yep. How can you get to the next level without actually chipping away from your life or actually pouring into you even more? And I believe that's God.
100%.
You know, and I'm learning that right now where it's like, okay, yeah, like maybe it's not just like about, you know, getting that dog back into me. Maybe it's just a little bit of a different energy that I have to focus on now to pour into myself and also pour into my people. Correct. You know, because I've been, you know, in my word again, and I've been, you know, really, really focusing on God and everything else too. So I'm really, really like realizing that, you know, because, you know, they say pain is temporary, but you should use the pain temporary.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't use it.
It's a beautiful emotion. All the emotions are incredible. Yeah. They can produce and create things that, you know, last generations, you know. But I think you have to start getting in tune with when to use them and when to let them go.
No, definitely.
Don't let them use you.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
So let's get into the challenge, the summit that you got going. Going on, okay? Because it is the Get Grant Ready Summit.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. So tell me a lot about that. Tell me about the women that's also involved as well too. Let's break it down.
Okay, so this summit is unisex.
Okay.
Men and women.
Okay, got it.
Nonprofit and for-profit. This is my 3rd annual Get Grant Ready virtual summit. Every single time we have 2,000 plus business owners in the room. One reason, the ticket is $5. Another reason, it's 5 days of high-level learning with actual certified professional grant writers. So we're taking you through the full journey of what do you actually need in terms of business structure, nonprofit structure. What do you need in terms of grant proposal, grant databases? How do you align? How do you reach out? What are the strategies and the techniques that we're using to get an 80% success rate on our grants? And you're really learning at this super high, impactful level. And we're literally it's like rapid fire because I don't like to host classes too long. That class is about an hour and a half.
Got it.
Now we got 90 minutes of straight heat.
Yeah.
And it's a slow burn heat because we're going to build it up because a lot of people are coming in understanding traditional funding but not understanding grant funding.
Got it.
So we're going to build it up with making you understand what's the shift that you have to make in your mind when it comes to grants. It's a totally different process. It's a totally different application process. You got to shift your mind. Now we got to get the structure. Then we got to understand what's right, how to find them, and then you got to understand tax implications. So we always make sure that we set you up with like how to report, how to set your taxes up properly. So it's literally the A to Z process to be successful with grants. And I tell people all the time, you're getting in for $5 because I want you there. I need you to have this information.
Ain't no excuse. You ain't got no $5. Then you know what? You got to like reevaluate your life. Like for real.
I want you to get the information genuinely because I've seen this change lives. Like I've literally seen this take someone from not being able to open up a childcare facility to owning 7 childcare facilities. Okay. I've seen it in my own life, being robbed to having multi-million-dollar franchise, literally from the power of grants. So if I can teach you for 5 days for $5 and you got to just show up, I'm positive your life will be impacted in a mighty way.
So if I want to get into this, like, should I focus on pouring into my business? Should I also maybe even look into opening a grant franchisee with you as well too and have that service?
Heck yeah.
Okay. So all the above.
Oh, all the above. All right. And D.
A to Z.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I have people that come to my seminar and literally are like, okay, how do we become a grant writer? This is powerful stuff. We want to do this in our communities. Yeah, we have franchises available. Come on, sis. We ready to get you. Come on, bro. We ready to work with you.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a vast network, so I have a concierge company, took care of a whole bunch of billionaires and everything too. Now I still have that company, but I'm focusing more on like podcasts and media. And people have always been asking me about like, I'm like the person in Miami that like, hey, like you need to like get this done, talk to Bishop. Like, like I'm always I have a vast order of like, things that I can actually get done. And I've been thinking about getting into business funding, but now honestly with you, maybe the grant space is something that I should probably look into. You
should.
Because you said we don't like debt.
I'm telling you. And
yeah.
I think too, when people can say, this is money you don't have to repay, this money you didn't have to have credit to you to get.
Yeah.
It's a safer option. And then if everything, like we know in business, can go, if it goes all the way down to the ground and it doesn't do what it needs to do, you don't feel the pressure of having to pay this $150,000 loan back.
Facts, yeah.
So
the business credit you have to pay back.
That's what I'm saying. You got to pay that back regardless.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
And so it just allows you a certain level of freedom, like mentally, like, you know what I'm saying? That just comes. So I think if you can do it, if you have access to understanding the process, then do it. And for me, the educated client is the best client. I actually don't want to take on a client if they're just coming straight to us with no information.
Got it.
Take the summit first.
Got it.
Understand the process.
Okay.
Figure out if this is right for you.
Is it New York or Atlanta? Where is that?
No, the summit is virtual.
Oh, virtual. Okay, perfect.
Oh,
okay,
yeah, we virtual with this thing.
We can do anywhere in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
anybody can come.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Nice. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was in person, but
may do it in person soon.
Yeah, I think you should
Get Grant Ready Summit live.
Let's do something in Miami.
That would be cool.
Let me know. We'll set it up.
Yeah,
I'll set it up.
That would be cool.
Yeah, we'll talk for sure. So, Ms. Stormi, this has been phenomenal.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. I appreciate your efforts and everything else too, coming through, having this conversation. So what's next for Stormi? Other than the virtual challenge,
okay.
But what's next for you?
I want a farm.
You want land.
I want a farm. I want a husband. I want
Okay.
kids.
Okay.
I'm ready to build out the family model.
Okay.
I'm ready to build out the family model. Business is going well, and I have the visual of what I want that to look like and what that looks like for me. And I'm ready. I'm about to freeze my eggs. I just turned 30. So, I'm on that trajectory now.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
That's what's next.
So I have this last segment, right? That's called the last call.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you a barrage, a variety of different, words, and then you're gonna give me the first thought or the first word that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay. New York.
Brooklyn.
Well, like, how do you feel about New York?
Oh, okay. You want an emotion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like captivating, like the struggle or like the grind or like, things like that. Yeah.
Anxiety.
Okay. Okay. All right. Brooklyn.
Pressure.
Okay. Family.
Community.
Your mom.
Love.
The pink print.
Toof. That just brought like 5 words.
Okay. If you got to use more than one.
Strength.
Okay.
Honor,
keep going.
Resilience.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. The grant industry.
Vibing.
Okay. I got you. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. I literally just had it. Atlanta. Okay, there we go. Keep it like that. Okay, cool. Oh boy. Anyway, we're gonna go right past that. All right. Okay, and the last one, and this one right here, you can take as long as you want.
Okay.
Stormi Banks.
An emotion.
Okay.
No, I'm looking for one.
Okay. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Just you're looking. Or you still looking? My bad. Go ahead. Sorry. I thought that was it.
Well, I don't have an emotion for Stormi right now. What I will say is that the era that I was in previously is coming to an end. And I'm shifting into a totally different being. And I feel the metamorphosis happening. And I see it in front of my eyes. And I pray that everybody can accept for when I put it out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fire.
Yeah, I can completely just understand where you're coming from because I'm definitely going through a metamorphosis as well too, and that shit hurts like a bitch. But
work.
I know that God is putting me through this for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be great.
It is.
Miss Stormi, I appreciate it. Listen, this has been incredible. I was kind of, just to be very honest, I was kind of nervous about this conversation because we didn't even have like an actual conversation at all. I was wondering, because like, me, I have like anxiety and stuff. So, but this has actually been amazing. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. Great energy for those.
having me.
So if you can just give out where we can find you, also just the where we can just a little bit about like the challenge, the virtual workshop, and social media platforms, and we'll wrap up.
Thank you for tuning in to Convos with Bishop. This has been an incredible conversation, and I want to keep connected with you guys. So make sure that you follow me on IG. I'm at I am Stormi Banks, and that's Stormi with an I. And then if you're looking to learn how you can access the power of grants, make sure you visit pinkprintfirm.com and grab your ticket, and I'll see you inside August 4th through the 8th.
One text Stormi. That's all we got to do. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your
Appreciate you
time.
more.
Only the best.